with the generals. How can you do business with these people?
Well, the fact is that I'm not in bed with anyone, not even my wife. The truth is that, who am I in bed with? I'm in bed with the concept of engagement. Now, I understand from working in Vietnam and looking at countries around this region that if you want to instigate change, then you have to be on the field. Anyone who's screaming from the sidelines is just a shriek that's going off into the wilderness.
With foreign media restricted, we entered Myanmar as technical consultants. But as filmmakers, our intention is to cover Ross and his staff while they report the country's first election in 20 years.
Think simple questions though. This is just a, quick bang. What do you think? Do you think there will be a positive change after the election? If so, why?
More than 3,000 candidates will stand for Myanmar November 7th election, in which 39 million citizens will be eligible to cast votes. Dictators also said foreign reporters will not be allowed into Myanmar during the election to monitor the election result.
Along with his 300 local staff, Ross has permission to employ some young foreigners. Here, they see a side of journalism they'd never see at home. The heavy hand of a government censor.
The ministry will never again seize power from a democratically elected government, a senior union. Can you believe it?
That's what they're promising.
You see, did she take that interview?
Yeah.
Well, I think you should try and use a direct quote there. The military will never again seize power from a democratically elected government. I mean, it was in Burmese, but you should try and dig it out from there, what is the exact statement. Because if it was, we might be able to just put that in. We will never seize power again.
Well, I don't think they'll cut it. I don't think PSV will cut something that Tayu said at a public press conference.
We'll never hijack the country again.
Ross has a pioneering West Australian mentality who can be daring about the opportunities he seeks to pursue.
It is a bit, throw a bit of shit at the candidate. One candidate's throwing shit at the other.
He's more than just a guy who wants to make a buck.
Yes, he is. He wants to make a contribution.
Ross arrived in Myanmar in the year 2000, 10 years after the army stole the last election from the democracy icon, Aung San Suu Kyi. It was a time when change was in the air, with the progressive general, Kin Yunt, taking an influential role in government.
There was a sense of optimism, that there was a feeling that he could have dealt with Aung San Suu Kyi, and that is for the good of the people of Myanmar and an openness to the outside world.
To establish his paper, Ross needed a local partner.
Well, Ross's partner was Sonny Sway, and Sonny Sway's father was a senior officer in military intelligence, one of the right-hand men of Kin Yunt. So that was obviously a very useful connection.
And then I felt I was in box position to achieve my dreams of doing a daily newspaper here.
Then in 2004, military hardliners made their move and rolled Kin Yunt.
He was suddenly and cleanly sliced from the leadership of the government.
1 or 2 weeks after Kin Yunt was arrested, Sonny Sway's father was ordered to report to military authorities and placed in detention.
Then Sonny was very nervous, thinking that perhaps he would be under the sights as well.
And then at the end of November, Sonny Sway was arrested.
And they took him into custody, where they held a trial at insane prison, and he was found guilty of endangering the national security of the country by bypassing censorship regulations. And he got 14 years, and now some 6 years have gone by.
With his business partner locked away, Ross was presented with a fait accompli.
Some colonel or major come into the room, and then he informed me that I would need a new partner because I couldn't own all the business, and therefore they had decided that that this was a person and he was in the room next door to me and I should meet him.
Waiting next door was magazine publisher Dr. Tintanu, known as TTO. Sonny Sway's 51% shareholding was given to him, while Ross was assured TTO would remain a silent partner.
Ross would continue to manage the paper, and TTO would only enter the premises to attend board meetings once a month.
He thinks he knows the way. I think I know the way. But, there's only one way, and that's if I'm running the company, it's my way.
Bring it up, mate.
Well, I feel that there's a little white space there when I'm discussing that, but I'm just not used to seeing a headline like that in this paper. Is it 75?
I think so.
Yeah, it's not very often done.
The risks of doing business in Myanmar have encouraged Ross to expand into Cambodia. Recently, he bought the Phnom Penh Post, which he's transformed from a weekly to a daily.
See you later, Fender. See you later, Thomas. Hey, see you, Tommy Fink. Good luck, mate.
One of my consultants said that I should diversify. I should spread our wings a little bit more because Myanmar was dangerous and very risky.
See you next weekend.
If they did slam down on us and close us up and say you're out, then it was all was gone.
There we go.
Well, that hasn't turned out a brilliant investment just yet. It's cost us a lot of pain and heartache.
You've been hemorrhaging 100,000 a month on a newspaper, new newspaper. How are you handling that?
Not handling it that well because we're running out of cash, and sooner or later, if cash dries up, then you close your business. Everyone's quite concerned. I mean, we've dropped 1.2 million in 2 years. It's a lot of money. We're not Rupert Murdoch. It's down the quiet end of the laneway into my place here. I think I'm in my 10th year at this house. Hey, little girl. Come on, little girl. Come on. You're not allowed inside, are you? But you are. Blue is more kind of peaceful. A bit of a pale red in case we have to do a sacking or two, right?
Well, you seem very focused on building a media empire in those two countries.
Well, I'm focused on survival, Helen. Not necessarily on the empire. The empire will strike back if I can survive. $12,500 here today, and I don't have a good record of keeping anything on my body.
With his new investment struggling, the fact that the Myanmar Times has started making money enables Ross to siphon off as much profit as he can to prop up the Phnom Penh Post.
So does the newspaper run on a cash economy, does it?
Myanmar Times does. I think that should be enough for now. Let's put it back in what is, in Myanmar, the very familiar brown paper bag. All money goes in the brown paper bag. Hidden in the secret panel. It's a lovely piece of sandalwood incense. Oh, we all dream of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and I don't know, the idea of making lots of money, not sure if that's what really is my reality. I'm not saying this gives me good luck or anything, I just like the smell. Lovely, isn't it?
On Friday afternoons, the paper is sent off to the military censors, the press scrutiny board. It's not received back till late Saturday evening. So what have we got?
So they asked us to change the heading, and the picture is okay, stories are okay, but the headings are not okay. We need to change the heading again and send it back.
Denying the truth again.
It can be well after midnight before the presses roll. While they wait, the printers party upstairs.
I might have to change it, Ross. If they won't back down, I'll have to change it. Well, I haven't even looked at it yet. All I know is they want us to change the heading. The pages just came in. That's fair enough with you? Okay. I might have to call you back. Okay, bye. We're going to ask for a reason this time, which is radical behaviour. Ross has said, we're not changing the heading, we want a reason why we need to change it because that's what he said. So I want a reason from them. Can we telephone them? I don't want to waste time going there. I want to call up and get an answer quickly. I've lived and worked in this part of the world for about half of my career as a journalist, which is 40 years. Okay, change the pages. I was in Beijing during Tiananmen and left on a Qantas evacuation flight a couple of days after the massacre. But because of my experience in China and because I've worked in a radio newsroom in Singapore, I certainly wasn't new to censorship, and that made it much easier to accept the system here. Call up Ross and ask him what to do.
Word has come back. The censors won't budge on Ross's headline.
Hi Ross, it's Nolan. Sorry to disturb you. We just try to for the cover heading.
In the meantime, Jeffrey attends to cuts in 15 separate stories. Cyclone victim starving takes on a positive spin. A Vietnamese freighter forced onto rocks must go.
So delete that down to right.
The story's bad for foreign relations.
No, delete this. Delete that. Yep.
Mention of a shortage of medicines in state hospitals must disappear. Positive comment on opposition parties is wiped.
This instruction is from the media council. So what are we going to do?
There is a lot of pressure on the censorship authorities, more than usual because of the election. So I would say extreme sensitivity.
We want to work is good. We want to work with anybody says investigating.
Okay, I'll try it. We want to work with... I'll have to say NLD, I think. It'll be too long to put a name in it. Send the page. Send the page. Send the page. Send the page. Don't, just send the page. Yeah, send the page.
Shame about the headline. Like, what can we do with Tinsway saying take it out? I'm not going to fight him like this week, are we? We're just moving to the new next round.
What would have happened if he'd insisted on publishing the headline you wanted?
It just would have created some tension, quite a lot of tension this week. And we don't want to add to that. We've got a bigger ambition in mind, that's to get our daily newspaper out, and let's just slide towards that. In the meantime, bite our tongue.
So do you think a lot of people will be voting actually outside where they live? Some people move house, right, but they don't change their household list. Maybe we can get a number of voters or something like that from the election commission in that constituency and then do a profile of each of the candidates. You got everything? Let's go. Which place should we walk?
Okay. 2 centimetres, is it? I try to bring it up to 1.75, mate. Just bring it up a little bit, eh? Just a bit too big there. And why don't you make that red and yellow? Put that as a...
There are 3,000 candidates standing for 330 seats. The military is leaving little to chance by guaranteeing a quarter of the seats will go to army appointees.
I went out last night and I reckon I saw probably 500 soldiers, some of them marching along the road, middle of the night, guns on their shoulders, single file, and you think, what are they doing out there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? It's just scary, because I don't see that. In the past I've not seen that, even during the times of the monk thing, that wasn't around. This time, they have just got every base covered. They are checking people at the airport very thoroughly, and they have operatives or operation-style people on every street corner almost. You can't move anywhere without them knowing about it.
If the officials see taking documentary, I think they can call an inquiry to me.
Do an inquiry.
Yeah, inquiry to, yeah.
Does that worry you?
No, I'm not worried.
This journalist job is challenging. It's full of challenges. If we are doing something not okay with the government policy, who can say something happened to this journalist or something happened to his career?
Meow Meow's happy for us to film, but each time she's careful to get official permission from Ross and senior management. She takes us to the edge of town to interview one of the main opposition candidates. With Aung San Suu Kyi still under house arrest, his party uses her symbol, the bamboo hat, as its logo.
The former Minister of Mines, geologist, said he was not overly concerned whether he won or lost on November 7. I want to show the next generation that we can still be brave, he said.
Please down the camera.
Within minutes of our arrival, we're spotted. Why did we have to leave so quickly?
Security asked to me, where are you from? Yeah, I told to him, we're from Myanmar Times, and then he asked to me your names.
So you didn't tell him?
Yeah, but I did not tell our names. Yeah.
And where are they from?
I think they are from the special branch and military intelligence.
We were photographed by Special Branch today. So, do you reckon anything might come out of that?
Well, if I was them, I'd probably, you may get away with a bluff that you're from the Myanmar Times. They've taken your name.
Well, they haven't got our names, but...
They have?
No, they haven't got our names.
They didn't? They just took your photo?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's, I guess that's a positive sign.
Our run-in with Special Branch could make things difficult for Ross, particularly as his silent partner, the mysterious Dr. Tin Tanu, is standing as a candidate for the military-backed party.
What's TTO going to do when he votes?
TTO? Well, he's a reptile, mate, so you only vote one way. We're like a lizard going to water.
I want to see what he does if there's a vote on free press.
I want to see him not elected, mate.
Yeah.
And I think because that's the start of the finish for him, I think you can move in on to say he's a loser, and we'll look for a new partner. Because TTO is no loyalty at all. There's no allegiance to this paper or this people. So why would we want to have him? Anything has to be better than him. I'm looking for things that are going to help me in trying to write an editorial piece, and I'm looking at the president, and the president makes the solemn oath upon taking office, and that the person has to abide by the Constitution and will carry out the responsibilities and strive for further flourishing the eternal principles of justice, liberty and equality. And I think that for me, summarises it all up. That's where we're heading towards, a return to the principles of justice, liberty and equality. That's what democracy is all about. So I think it's going to be worthwhile just taking a little quote from that and then to remind voters that it's 50 years since we've had a real vote.
After almost half a century of military rule, the nation will take a decisive step forward in its transition towards the attainment of a parliamentary democracy. It is the absolute wish of this newspaper and all of its staff that democracy and the freedoms associated with it can be enjoyed by all. Our newspaper has a responsibility to the public, and we intend to work tirelessly to ensure that the elected politicians are the servants of the people rather than their masters. Only in this way can we achieve the freedom for which the country has yearned for so long. Democracy cannot take root without the participation of the people. We encourage you to vote this weekend.
Despite the editorial's optimism, senior staff are suspicious.
I went to Yangon Township and Sanchal Township, and the last one is Behan.
Thousands of government workers have been ordered to vote early.
These are the policemen, cops, and they will go to Kayan Township today, so they vote in advance.
I think they're a little bit too big. Can I get a little bit more of the... Oh, this will just stay. Yeah.
I go to my home. I will give a voting advance because I have to go to Lashio to cover the election day history. This is my first time voting. I also want change in our country because I have over 5 year experience in the journalism field, but I don't get a real free press freedom.
Is your mother proud that you are working as a journalist?
She liked my work, so she encouraged to do journalist to do work. Yeah.
Does she ever worry for your safety?
Yeah. သတင်းတော့လုပ်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်ねဒီစိုးရိမ်မှုရှိသလားတဲ့ရှိပါတယ်အန်ဒီဟိုဖြစ်တယ်စိုးရိမ်မှုစိတ်ထဲမှာဖြစ်သလားတဲ့
Why?
Why ဘာကြောင့်အန်ဒီနည်းနည်းများလို့ဘာကြောင့်များတယ်လို့ထင်လဲတဲ့ Nó chịu rồi. Nó thằng lông này đi follow.
With heavy surveillance at the polling station, Meow Meow asks us to stay in the car while she goes to vote for the first time in her life.
Before I took the right mark, my heart beat. This is my feeling.
Why?
I don't know exactly, but before I took the right mark, just a small heartbeat.
Business cuts are nice and light, but I don't.
Well, what do you got there?
This is the approved. We're allowed to use this photo. We tried to use one photo of the one of the party says a bamboo hat as their logo, and we tried to run that on the front page, and that was number 2, and that was rejected. I don't actually recall what the first version was, but it'll be here somewhere.
The first version was people walking out of pre-polling, voting in advance.
Oh yeah, well, we sent this with a bunch of different photos, I think, and I think this must have been the original that they rejected. I couldn't even speculate. I'm flush out of ideas on why they would have a problem with people walking out of a polling vote when they're quite keen to have people voting. I would have thought they would be quite in favour of such a thing, but the cuts on the inside are extensive. It is now 10 minutes past 10. I think we have a long night on our hands.
Such an important day, Yangon is strangely quiet.
Before polls opened, there were claims even from the military supporters that rigged pre-voting was taking place.
By late afternoon, those fears are confirmed when large numbers of suspect votes turn up in many electorates.
ပြီးတော့နောက်ကျွန်တော်တို့မသိဘဲနဲ့ကြိုတင်မဲမှာတခြားဟလာဒီမျိုးနဲ့လည်းလူဘယ်နှယောက်လောက်စိတ်ဝင်လာပြီးတော့မဲစင်းပေါက်နေလဲလို့ကျွန်တော်တို့မသိဘူးအဲ့ဒီဟာကိုသိရတယ်
Kong Min Tut was one of the country's youngest political prisoners. He was 13 when he was first arrested and 16 when he went to jail for 6 years.
I've been in this political field for more than 20 years. I've worked with other politicians for so long, so I know how to make the alliances with other representatives. I was pretty impressed with him. He was pretty good on the stump, wasn't he? Yeah. He could fly and answer back, and let's say the English is not his main answer. This is not one of the big boys, is it?
The big boy turns out to be the notorious Brigadier General Ong Tien Lin, the mayor of Yangon, who's connected to the very top of the ruling military hierarchy.
He doesn't want us to be here, so well, he can't stop us from here, mate. Yeah, okay. Some journalists. Huh? That's good, right? You saw the expression on his face? I don't think we should back off straight away, Johnny. Yeah. Hey, I straight in my ear and just get her to go and ask him to go talk to the mayor. Shit, I mean, he's here. So why wouldn't we want to talk to him? I think you come along with us. You come along with us. Oh, well, no, you two go to the front here, but I don't want to make him nervous. But I think you should ask him. Here's the mayor, mate. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah. Right, come along.
Ủa sao nhưng mà đây là sao? Và liên quan đến lo bạn. Liên quan đến làm gì? Okay ba. Tôi làm gì? Okay. Mà làm bạn. Okay. Đây là chỗ của làm gì lo bạn? Cái sao lo? Đây là cái nó cái mặt. Okay ba. Okay ba. Lý do bạn. Okay ba. Okay ba. Okay ba. Okay ba. Cái gì lo bạn? Okay ba. Sorry. He doesn't want to answer our question anymore.
No one's in any doubt about the outcome of Sunday's election. Opposition groups have already conceded that it's lost.
There are some stories, not confirmed and they probably never will be, of 6,000 ballots being cast in a constituency with 4,000 voters.
I'm just trying to accept whatever comes. That's all.
I don't believe in the results. You, Meow Meow,
Yeah.
what do you think about the election?
It's fair to say that there's a wide range of emotions people are feeling at the moment. Anger. I think people are very sad. Some say they're ashamed, of their country. I think a lot of people are disgusted.
If these stories are confirmed about grotesque ballot stuffing, this government will have no credibility at all.
So what will people do about that?
Well, I don't know what they can do because they're a little bit reluctant to go and demonstrate because they'll get shot down. I mean, if a government is prepared to kill monks, it's certainly prepared to kill ordinary civilians as it has done in the past.
The next day, our luck runs out when Special Branch makes its move,
Where you've been deported, it's a short story. That's all I know.
Yeah.
They know more than I do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Alright.
It is a sensitive time. They don't want international media here. Such a damn pity.
What else should we get on here?
I've just told you. I've just sent an email for you, man.
An Australian film crew making a documentary has been deported from Burma in the wake of that country's first election in 20 years.
Hello. The exiles. Oh my God.
We made it out.
I know. I've been reading the reports on the newspaper on the online today. I thought, oh my God, last night was just a bloody debacle. I'm expecting potentially certainly some problems. Yeah, I've no doubt that Dr. Tim Tanu is going to come out of the blocks as the businessman again and say what the hell's going on here.
The Cambodian government has hailed the release of Myanmar democracy icon Aung San Suu Kyi after years of house arrest, describing it as an important step on the road towards democracy for the troubled country.
The junta times the release of Aung San Suu Kyi cleverly. World media immediately forgets about the crooked election and starts talking about Burma transitioning to democracy. But not everything plays out as expected. Ross's business partner, TTO, fails to win his seat.
TTO is not made it to Parliament, so he's potentially going to be a bit of an angry man, and he'll look to blame people. He could say that everything's out of control at the Myanmar Times, that all these problems, people getting expelled, all sorts of things, means that he'll have to walk in as a CEO, and that only he can solve the problems. Well, I have a very simple answer to that, and that is no, because when there's a bullet fired, TTO, it's going to be at you first, buddy. I'll fire it or they'll fire it, so you coming in, it's just another death sentence for you, so stay away, but mate, you're not going to make it.
Three months after the election, the new parliament sits in the remote capital, Naypyidaw. Ominously for Ross, TTO's friend, the information minister, Chor Sun, rises to number 4 spot. Several foreign journalists at the Myanmar Times start having visa problems.
Using my kind of oriental kind of significance.
Then we hear Ross's visa is in doubt, and if he leaves the country, he won't be let back in.
That's a fashion statement, I think.
With no chance of us returning to Burma, our contacts start sending us video.
The fact is that we're in a desperate situation now, with the minister refusing to reissue my visa, with 2 of my key staff now forced out of the country, with a couple of others due to go as well, and we're in desperate trouble.
The Australian editor of an English-language newspaper that publishes in Myanmar has been arrested and jailed in what an associate said was part of a business dispute.
What's Ross been actually charged with? It's
An immigration offence.
and what's that based on?
I don't know what it's based on. I think it's all made up.
Right now, all we know about Ross is he's in jail. He's in one of the least pleasant jails in this part of the world.
Ross is in insane prison.
And what's the word? Are people able to see him?
Myanmar are able to see him.
We're hoping that some of the people from the Myanmar Times will get in to visit him soon.
I don't know how he is. My feeling is that Ross will be deported. What implications that will have for the foreign investment partners in the paper, I do not know, but I think it is an ominous development.
The number one priority is Ross's safety and Ross's well-being. Everything else doesn't matter a rat's ass as far as I'm concerned.
The foreign investors move quickly to shore up their position, which with Ross in jail means doing a deal with TTO. Western Australian oil and gas entrepreneur Bill Clough steps in as acting managing director. TTO gets his way and takes Ross's position as chief executive. We're told that once the immigration problem is solved, Ross will return as editor-in-chief.
The bottom line is he was arrested on a visa technicality. That's all it is. And there's a lot of confidence at that end and at this end that this matter is going to be resolved amicably.
Our contacts continue to smuggle out footage. This is the first time filming has been allowed around a Burmese court. Suddenly, Ross's immigration problems take a surprising turn. Serious allegations emerge that a pregnant sex worker has claimed that he detained her at his house, plied her with drugs, and then physically assaulted her.
There have been articles appearing in the Myanmar language press. A statement from a young woman that Ross met several weeks ago.
Ross told me that he went to a nightclub. He said he thought from the beginning that the woman's behaviour was unnecessarily assertive. As he put it, she came onto me straight away when I entered the bar. She must have had some attribute that appealed to him, so he decided to take her home. When they got home, he became convinced that something strange was happening, so he decided that the intelligent thing for him to do would be to get her out of the house as soon as possible. So that's what he did. He made no mention of any struggle. It would be unfair of me to talk about this if I can't remember exactly what he said. And the next thing he knows, a couple of days later, he's alleged to have assaulted this woman and to have held her hostage for 3 days, which was absolute bullshit.
They took him to court, said that Ross had breached his visa conditions by virtue of criminal activity.
For us, the story emerges slowly. We hear the woman had wanted the charges dropped weeks ago, and the police agreed. Now the prosecution is persisting.
So basically it all hinges on the assault charge, which the woman wanted to have withdrawn, but which the judge would not let her do that.
Well, anyone who knows Ross knows that Ross is not a saint by any means. But bashing up women is not on the list of his sins.
Well, there's no doubt that the incident with the girl was a setup. Who was responsible for that setup is a very interesting question. I am not suggesting for 1 second that Dr. TTO was necessarily involved with that setup, but someone in a position of power was, and it was part of a very deliberate attempt to embarrass Ross and perhaps have him removed from Myanmar.
Okay, right. Well, Bill, here we are on the 17th of March in the police captain's office. He's been a very good man, the police captain, looking after me. And we've got a bail hearing today, which there seems to be some optimism on.
Well, I'm not sure that the judge is able to make a decision by himself because, like most Myanmar public servants, he knows that initiative is a dangerous thing.
We suspect the underlying issue is all about saving face. Then, to everyone's surprise, TTO makes an appearance, and it's clear deals are going on behind doors.
မြန်မာတိုင်းရဲ့CEO ယာရုတွေပါတွေချမ်းကိစ္စတွေမဟုတ်ပါဘူးလုံးဝမဟုတ်ပါဘူးကျွန်တော်ရဲ့ပြောကဘာမှမပါပါဘူးလူတွေအထင်ထဲမှာဆိုကျွန်တော်ရှင်းပြတယ်
It's a funny little game there because on the one hand they're saying this imprisonment is all to do with Ross's personal affairs and nothing to do with the company. On the other hand, if Ross apologised to the minister about what's been going on with the company, then they'll let him out.
ဒါတော့ကျွန်တော်အတိအကျမပြောနိုင်ပါဘူးဒါတော့သူဥပဒေဆုံးဖြတ်အတိုင်းပါဥပဒေကအမှန်ကန်ခွင့်ပြုမယ်ဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်အမှန်ကန်ပေးပါမယ်ဒီတော့
Everyone's treating me good. Everyone understands that this is potentially a political game, so we can only just cross our fingers, mate, and say my prayers. Right, way in? Yes.
ကျွန်တော်မိတ်ဆွေရင်းနေတာနော်အခုလည်းသူ့တဲ့ကျွန်တော်အကောင်းဆုံးဖြစ်ပါစေအသက်အဆုံးဖြစ်ပါစေလို့ကျွန်တော်ဆုတောင်းနေပါတယ်
Behind the scenes, you know, I think Wayne and everyone's doing a good job.
Well, let's hope that TTO are doing his work behind the scenes as well, eh?
In spite of TTO's offer of bail, the application fails, and Ross is sent back to prison once again.
Good man. Okay? Okay, no problems, yeah. I don't think you all okay. Sure. Absolutely. See you next Tuesday, yeah? See you Tuesday, yeah? Yeah. See ya.
Well, the very worst option is he's found guilty of something and spends a long time in jail. I hope that's not true. Because I think there's an element of teaching Ross a lesson, a cocky Ross a lesson in the imprisonment.
I think Ross should have read a bit more Kipling. There's a line in a Kipling poem about a fool lies here who tried to hustle the East. I think Ross pushed the envelope too hard. I think Ross forgot that he was the outsider in Myanmar. I love Ross and I'm very loyal to Ross, but that doesn't mean I think he's infallible. I think it would have been wiser for Ross to accept that Dr. TTO was the majority shareholder and devise some kind of modus operandi to work with him instead of